Early to Canada, and that was disappointing for them and their head coach. And the Mexicans couldn't secure a win yesterday. The Falcon brothers, excellent. But a very young side for Mexico. Virtually no World Series experience. And Finley Brown will be doing his 6th match on the series. It's all thumbs up. So a long wait for these players. Robin often can put them off. They have their timings fairly well set. Here we go, 9th place semifinal. Germany in the black playing against Mexico. Mexico gather the kickoff well. This was an issue yesterday for them. Their handling just wasn't slick, and they've knocked this one on. Rob, maybe just let me ask you, these players have literally been waiting an extra 15, 20 minutes from the normal start time. What does that do to you when you're preparing?
Yeah, psychologically, you've got to be prepared to come out here and face the unexpected. It's one of the things teams talked about. What can you control? What can't you control? They've been in the huddle, perhaps went back to the changing room and tentatively waited, rehearsing those finer moments, which hopefully we'll see some sort of result from.
So, Sita, hard through the middle. Again, the Germans will be much favored in this. They played a lot more sevens in the European competition in their own Oktoberfest event. And obviously are part of the Hong Kong qualifier series, and they've got it wide. Nicholas Koch decides to get back infield. Didn't want to back himself to the line. He's made the right decision. Robin Plumpe, the 28-year-old, benefiting from that decision.
As the Germans with that little bit of experience across their team around that sevens width and where you need to stop, where you need to start. The fact that he just put the brakes on. Nice play from Koch and found that line, smoothed the hard line, if you like, back inside the defenders who are waiting. And Plumpe gets his 5.
Perhaps the Mexicans' inexperience there, a little bit of overcommitment, over-chase to the sideline. Of course, the Germans coached by Damon McGrath. Very experienced rugby mind on him, and there's the extras added. So, Germany to restart again. Does it go 10? No, says the referee.
Mike's here.
A free one for Mexico. What can they build here? A little tight to the sideline. Back in field goes Hernandez Nunez. And again, we saw a bit of this with the Jamaicans, very deep in the attack. The skills aren't quite as precise, so they have to take more depth, which is less of a challenge for the defenders.
It's over the shoulder.
Contact above the shoulder line. Again, these looping slow passes are not really asking any questions of the German defense. Off they go again. It's side to side for the moment, although a hint of an overlap. Is there enough space? He's put it to the boot. Mexico kicked more than any other team yesterday, actually. Oh, good sevens play there. That was kind of old school, backing up, just buying time for his team to get back on their feet and into a useful place. Good line there. And the Germans looking very confident on the ball here. Stop and go, running right over the man. Ask him to go to ground. Angel Bookman in the scrum half roll. He's wrapped up immediately. Good offering of the line in the midfield. Blindside it is, says Plumpe. Oh, in the end, because I'll have some of that myself. Germany, second try under the posts.
There's a little bit of old school sevens coming through from Germany. I like it. Invitational style where they play to their width, at their hard lines, and then a little bit of deception. The ball in 2 hands, looks for that line that Van der Bosch took through the middle. Lovely dummy, awareness of who's around him and where the space is, and then Plumpe, he cracks on and gets his second.
Yeah, the old school sevens that I used to play. Sometimes you go backwards to go forwards. You know, the old Scottish Snelling sevens. element of that as Germany cleaned up deep in their own end. And then Robin Plumpe took his chance. I mentioned Damien McGrath, not his first time in the stadium. Oh, he won't be happy, although that one does finally go 10 meters. Mexico down 2 converted tries with just over 2 minutes to go in this first half of the 9th place semifinal here at the Canada Sevens. And the Germans were one of the top tackling sides yesterday. Their tackle percentage was right up there, and I say no surprise with the likes of Damien McGrath, a perfect skills coach and a rugby league man at that.
Yeah, and they actually compete at the right time. So you can see here, no one at the breakdown there. So there's everyone on their feet, they hold their width, and individually very good technical tacklers. It's very good team play, the defensive structure of the Germans.
Let's see, gets bundled into touch, the flag goes up. And no surprise you mentioned Damien McGrath, one of the top skills coaches around. Really knows his stuff. Formerly coached Samoa on the series and Canada.
And England, yeah, he's done a fair few. Like Mike Friday, also international coaches. The man hails from Yorkshire.
Beverly. Yeah, good to see him back on Canadian soil, and I think he was disappointed with elements of the results yesterday, but I think his men worked hard for him.
Roll away, 7.
So important for these teams as well, this taste of the HSBC World Series as they prepare for Rugby World Cup qualifying and the European events. There we go, good step there from Lichtenberg. As you said, he got 2 tries yesterday. He's been quiet so far, with Plumpe getting 2 for Germany in this first half.
7 green, offside.
Offside midfield.
And the Germans really are taking advantage of the Mexicans not pressing them enough. And when I say that, they're not running off their line, they're not closing down the space. You can see here, Van der Bosch able to just walk a bit with it and pick off these defenders.
And it is often day 2 when we see the results of the lack of full-time training or full-time presence on the series.
Clear release, please.
The 4th game for these players in 1 and a bit days. So the bodies, yeah, you can see a bit of fatigue there.
And it's so difficult if you are just waiting for that half-line break. You're not being aggressive in your defence. It's almost a matter of time until the Germans are going to get over, because they're so good, their skill set at just moving the ball across, and then individuals will just pick off those weaker defenders.
Hooter sounds, they go short side. He walks in untouched. Bastian Van der Bosch. Simple stuff. And to your point, Rob, just Mexico run out of gas a bit.
Yeah, totally that. And it's the playmaker that does it. As soon as he walks, everyone stops. You can get on the outside of the man in front of you, and that little bit of deception towards his winger just means the gap gets wider. Van der Bosch, one of the most experienced German Sevens players, is loving it. This is what he's made for.
So just slides wide there. Half-time here in the 9th place semi-final. Germany in command, up 19 points to 0. Sure how much German is taught in Beverly, but there seems to be good communication there.
Yeah, sehr gut, sehr gut, wunderbar.
And how about this man doing double duty, coaching both the men's and the women's teams here? Pablo Guerrero.
And he'll be looking at the stats after these games and analysing what went well, what didn't. It's just possession for them. Mexico got thrown into this so late. It's admirable they're here. It's fantastic that they took the mantle. The French not able to come through, but ultimately it's their missed tackles. You can see 7 missed tackles. Line breaks been accrued from the Germans. The coach will have his work out. No doubt will benefit hugely from this, but as you mentioned throughout, Gareth, it's about their journey, this RAN experience that they can build towards the bigger tournaments, and this will undoubtedly make them better rugby players, so they'll be celebrating that.
I tell you what, the Mexican rugby community has a great ethos where some regions are losing some of that rugby hosting and the ethos. They're very big on it in Mexico, and they're wonderful hosts. A lot of good people working down there.
Okay.
Joining us around the world, I'm Gareth Rees.
Happy
Here with
Germany.
Rob Vickerman here at the HSBC Canada Sevens in Vancouver. Hanging kick.
Played by
Doesn't
Germany.
quite go 10, but Germany played it, so it will be play on. An advantage Mexico. A bright start for them here, although they've been penalized for not releasing. And Sierra goes quickly. Oh, the bobble.
Yeah. Ball's still live, it's option.
Tim Lichtenberg
Right, so it's
not able to hold on to that one.
You've got the option.
As Chris Ume, the German giant, has come on.
Scrum and line out. Line out.
Can't quite get his
Line
significant
out,
wingspan
forward
to
into
get the
touch.
ball backwards.
Okay, Mexico
There's a
open.
great debate in the sevens game is that you can have these big units, but they have to be able to play all facets of the game, even the offload there. Germany steal the ball. Up and running. Oh, awkward tackle there.
Some balls to begin with.
Good tackle, in fact, by Patricio Falcon, the captain, but he's still down, so we're going to have a look. In fact, it's been knocked on behind him, and hopefully they'll get a quick look. Yeah, he was totally committed in the tackle, but he may have taken a knock here.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I thought that's why they went well stop, and this is the collision. You can see him just putting head in the wrong place. You do that with the power of Sita coming at you. It's a really poor tackle technique. This is exactly why World Rugby have such stipulation around safety of where you're putting your head. You let him run into your shoulder and let his significant momentum take him to the floor. You put your head down, you've got no idea what's going ahead.
And there may be a language barrier there, but there's absolutely no question he's coming off. The doctor on the sidelines for the head injury assessment process at World Rugby will come off, have a look. For him to play any further part, he'll have to be cleared by the medical doctors. That's not up for debate in the game anymore.
Find.
So the Tartan men will get GB to cheer on later on in the Cup semi-final. We're here in the 9th place semi, where Germany currently lead 19 points to 0. Good work off the ball to create that overlap. And in fact, he's got the play himself, Bastian van der Bosch. Great awareness, great sevens knowledge.
Yeah, this is where your playmaker wants to be. He said before how much he's enjoyed himself. It's on the shoulder, John Doe. You can see a little bit of torque there, knows exactly where he is. And because of this angle, he's got the ball in the two hands. That deception throws away the outside defence, gets him on that natural arc round. Van der Bosch smashing up for Germany.
And he knows when he puts that work in support, either he's going to score or the man outside him is going to score. He's done the work. He adds the extras. So this is all going Germany's way. Jamaica, with the upset in the previous semi-final, are awaiting the winner here. Will be two very differing styles. Serevi coach team against a Damien McGrath coach team. Mexico just looking for anything to build upon.
Nope, it's off his hand. I feel you're not pushing.
Well, Chris
straight,
Uma
stay
is
clear.
a big man,
Move
isn't he?
forward.
You see him on the near
Wait
side
for
of
the
this
set.
scrum in the 13
Crouch.
jersey. Look at the size of him. He's towering
Fine.
over his Mexican counterpart there.
Set.
Ricardo Ansira can't believe what's come off the bench to face him. Here they go. Germany goes short side again. And again, it's the playmaker. Fantastic work from Bastian van der Bosch.
It's a Damien McGrath masterpiece. So about the league experience. A front runner gets all the attention. Lichtenberg is the man who runs this decoy line. Van der Bosch just puts it in behind him. You see it countless times, 15s and indeed rugby league, but it's a really clever play. See where he comes from the inside. Rangers trots it all the way along. It's not been changed for 20 odd years, but it still works brilliantly.
Great work from our crew, because you can see the Mexican defenders in no man's land. Beautifully worked. Samuel Ranger on the outside. That kick is not going to happen.
Time off, please.
3 minutes left. We're going to have time off for a moment. Just making sure
Sure.
about HIA or any subs. There is a sub coming in now late.
One.
It's great. The Germans can just call out where they're kicking the ball because nobody else can understand, especially the Mexicans.
He's off
They
already.
don't need any codes or any secret messages.
It's 5, wasn't
Time
it? 2. So he's going to go down the middle on the right.
Oh, the Yorkshire education system is just
Advantage.
so proud
Forward
right
off
now.
back. Fellas, there's 2 knock-ons there. First one in the air, and then 1 from green.
So I did learn like 1 to 10
Yeah.
in 4 languages,
First one's in
specifically
the air
trying to
at the
understand
kickoff.
people's kickoffs. It's
Just
the
with
thing
a
you do.
dream of being a commentator on the World Series one day.
Plenty in Spain as well, got their numbers.
So
Crunch.
2.5 minutes left in this one. Total domination from the
Bind.
Germans, as you see. The Mexicans
Set.
yet to enter the German 22. And they don't have an answer for the try they scored yesterday. Maybe it'll come from starting deep in their own end. That's the 22. Show and go, nothing happening through the middle.
Holding.
Again, penalty at the breakdown. 3 on 2. No need to use the hands. It's pushed right across the face. And John Daw gets in for his first try today here in Vancouver.
We had a bit of a shocker yesterday with this faux pas. That'll get a fair few views online, no doubt, trying to pass the ball on the inside. But talking about passes, that's what secured it. This was the breakdown. Steal from Germany. And then the absolute seed to follow.
Well, that's what that core strength is so important, isn't it?
Totally is, yeah. One of the first people, probably 25 years ago, George Smith, to start doing yoga, to have that middle, to try and secure that breakdown. Everybody now is focused on the strength you need over the ball. And that was a good example of it.
2.
Big moment for Jose Velasco Pons in the 11 jersey for Mexico, coming on to get a taste of the World Series.
Hang on, we'll just wait till he's off the field.
Referee Finley Brown says, let's get it going here. 1.5 minutes to play. We're gathered by Mexico. Another
Over the
penalty,
shoulder.
contact high. Maybe advantage may have been
Here, 7, 7,
better.
7. Yeah.
I just hope that the crowd get to do that wonderful thing where they go crazy for a Mexican try, get the underdog supported. Game's over, obviously, but just that glimpse of hope for them.
They did it yesterday for Chile and for Mexico, but unfortunately they're not going to get there with execution like that. And you can see the fatigue really setting in here.
We're injured. He's off black and touch the screen ball.
So for those Vancouver supporters of the Canada Sevens who had a late night last night, they're getting a few extra minutes to get into their seats. As we mentioned, Canada will be contesting the 5th place game and lost their cup quarterfinal. But lots of action here. And of course we have the Fast Four, the women's event. And Rob, what's your views on that? I mean, it's wonderful for these ladies to be in the big stadium here, the 4 teams. But it's also great to be building and really encouraging their own standalone events.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think it's been one of the highlights of yesterday's action. Certainly when the Canadian women are here, the crowd get behind them, and skill set's brilliant. I think it's one of the things to say that Sevens is a sport that can be represented by both men and women. It's why it's in the Olympics. It has parity at that level, so it's brilliant.
And you were down there the whole time in Tokyo. What great seeing Fijiana do what they did and all the women's competition.
Yeah, that was the real story of the games, you know, from the Sevens point of view. The men almost expected to win, and given their previous encounters, but the Fijiana women, fantastic. And again, women's rugby generally globally growing really well.
WXV World Cup happening in New Zealand this year. Lots of excitement around that in these parts and around the world. Right now it's Sevens with just 30 seconds left in this game. Mexico pounced on the loose ball. Will they give the crowd that moment? Lifting his heels was Martinez.
Move. You've affected the ball.
It's a material lack of roll away there. So go on Mexico, say the crowd. Flipped out wide. There's the hooter. All 4 attackers out to the left. But Germany up to it in defense, as you'd expect. And they won the penalty. Well, this is a good spirit here. They could have kicked the ball off the park, but they're going to give the crowd that little bit extra. And running ahead, looking for the boot, was Mertz, and he's got the bounce. I really like that. I mean, his line of run is what communicated what he wanted. Carlos Soteris Mertz. He didn't want the pass. He just kept running forward, so he'd take the kick.
Yeah, you could see how flat he was. It was the call. Good play. Ranger put it on the left foot. The accuracy there. A nice way to finish.
And those are some of the touches we've seen for the Germans that show they're going to be a power coming up. And that is the finals here. 9th place semi-final decided. Germany convincing win. It's 41 points to 0 over Mexico.
Great Britain against Mexico and United States against Canada. These sides met in their pool yesterday, 3 pool games each. It was Great Britain that were ranked number 1, Mexico 4th, USA and Canada 2 and 3. So beautiful BC Place, Western Canada, just north of Seattle on the west coast. It's Great Britain who only conceded 3 tries all weekend so far.